Hi guys, welcome back. We are continuing on with our geometry unit. So this week we started off with finding the area of a triangle. Now we're going to move on to finding the area of a trapezoid. All right, we're going to do some notes and you'll do some practice on your own. And of course, as always, if you need any extra help, let me know and I'll help you out. Let's share my screen. Our handy dandy formula chart. All right, so we are talking about trapezoids today. So the area, how to find that is half of base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So again, just like with the triangle formula, we're going to do the half at the end, which is dividing by 2. So we're going to add base 1 and base 2 together. Then we're going to multiply it by the height. Then we'll divide by 2 to get our area. Okay, sounds like a lot of work, but promise you it's not. Let's go ahead and look at some practice questions. All right, finding the area of a trapezoid. All right, so all of these are trapezoids, first of all. Trapezoid, okay? So because Miss Likes wants to save her fingers, I'm gonna just spread that across. And our formula is area equals half of base 1 plus base 2 times the height. And again, Miss Likes is going to save her fingers, and I'm going to just draw an arrow across, stating that that is the formula we will be using for all of our shapes. Now, first of all, base 1 and base 2. That is usually your top and bottom numbers. Base 1, base 2. Does it matter which one is base 1 or base 2? Not really, because you're adding them together. So usually I would say base 1 is the top, base 2 is the bottom, okay? Your height, because it's a trapezoid, is usually indicated with a dotted line, or if you have a straight side, then you will see up and down is your height, okay? Let's start with our first figure. So again, we're saying base 1 is going to be our top number. Base 2 will be our bottom number, okay? Then we have our height indicated right here. Okay. Now, orders of operations. Why is it saying that, Miss Likes? Well, remember, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Well, we have parentheses here. So we need to take care of the parentheses first. Then we need to multiply. Then we need to divide, okay? So let's go ahead and do our replacement of our numbers. So we have area equals half of 18 plus 12, and that's going to be times 8, okay? So if we substitute this, 18 plus 12 gives us what? So we have 8, 9, 10, looks like 30, okay? So half of 30 times 8. Now you might be like, Miss, you said to multiply first and then divide, but if we follow PEMDAS, don't we need to divide first? Yeah, you can divide first. We're still going to get the same answer. So half of 30 would be what? Half of 30. 15, right? So area equals 15 times 8. And if we multiply 15 times 8, what do we get? Area equals 120. Now, this is not our final answer because remember, our area needs to have units, right? So down here, I'm going to put 120. Our units are going to be yard squared because remember, we're looking for the area. Yards squared, okay? Okay, let's look at our next one. Base 1, base 2, and then our height. Okay. I'm going to fill in area equals half base 1 plus base 2 times our height, okay? If we add 10 and 16, what do we get? You said 26, you are correct, okay? Half of 26 would be 13. And then we just need to do 13 times 9, which would give us what? 117. Again, that's not our final answer. We have to put the units. So if we go back to our picture, we have meters. So we have 117 meters squared because we're looking for the area. Area is always squared, okay? All right, so that's finding the area. Now, just like with the other figures, we're going to work backwards. Let's say they give us the area, but we're missing either a side or a height. Okay, so now let's take a look. They tell us that our area for this trapezoid is 24. Okay, I have a base 1. I also have a base 2. I am missing my height. So there goes my x. Okay, I'm going to substitute. So I'm not going to put a because I know what the area is. It's 24 equals half. I know both of my bases, 5 plus 7, but I'm not sure what my height is. So I'm going to put x, okay? I'm going to first add 5 plus 7, which would give me 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? 24 equals half of 12, and then times x, okay? Half of 12 would be 6. So 24 equals 6x, okay? We can drop the parentheses now. The x will now be glued to the 6. This is multiplication when we have a number and a variable by each other. I need to solve for my missing variable. Since this is multiplication, the opposite would be division. So I'm going to divide both sides of this by 6, because remember, we want x by itself. So we're left with x on this side of our problem. And then over here, 24 divided by 6 would give us 4. So our height is 4 miles. Now, we would not put squared here because we didn't look for the area. We already were given the area. We were looking for a missing height. So we just need to put the units, okay? Now, I always tell you to check, so let's make sure that this actually worked out. So right here is where we would insert our 4. 12 times 4 would give me 48, and half of 48 would give me 24. So it works out, okay? Last one. Again, I have been given the area. It says 95 centimeters squared. I've been given a base 1. I've also been given a base 2. I am missing my height, okay? I'm not going to put a because I know what my area is. So I'm going to put 95 equals half. Base 1 plus base 2. I don't know my height, okay? I'm going to add 14 plus 24. 14 plus 24 is 38. 95 equals half. 38, oops, times x, okay? Half of 38 would be 19. 95 equals 19x. Remember, now the x is attached to it. I want x by itself. I need to do the opposite operation, which would be division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 19. This will cancel and leave me with x. I'm going to do some side work because I don't know what 95 divided by x is. I'm just kidding, 95 divided by 19. Actually, it's 5. 5 times 19 will give me 95. Okay. Now remember, we weren't looking for area, so we don't have to put squared. We just need to put centimeters. So 5 centimeters is my height. And if I were to check that, if I come right here and put 38 times 5, that would give me 190. And if I divided that in half, I would get 95. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are now going to go into your folder. You're going to do some practice problems on your own. And then I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.